What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I used to be a pretty hardcore Kevin Durant fan back in his Thunder days. The man was and still is an absolute beast, but there was just something different about Thunder KD. Even that Thunder roster was something special, specifically the 2015-2016 roster. Besides the obvious KD and Russ, you had guys like Steven Adams, Serge Ibaka, Dion Waiters, and at the time Enes Kanter, now known as Enes Freedom. This team was chock full of young talent too, led by a few guys with that 2012 finals experience. Head coached by Billy Donovan, this squad went 55-27 in the 2015-2016 season. After barely breaking a sweat and rolling to the Western Conference Finals, the 2016 Thunder were set to face off against the Golden State Warriors. After taking a commanding 3-1 lead, the Thunder lost this series. Soon after, Golden State lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers in the infamous 7-game finals series. In this video, I'm going to take you down a theoretical journey portraying what could have been if the Thunder won that series against Golden State. Now, don't get me wrong, that Golden State team was something special in their own respect, but let's say the Thunder win that series and move on to the finals. Some things to note right away: we would never have gotten to witness the block that LeBron had on Andre Iguodala, or even the first 3-1 comeback in NBA Finals history. Aside from all the small trades and effects caused by the aftershock, this video I'm going to give two scenarios on what could have happened around the league with major players and teams. Scenario 1. To me, it seemed as if things were getting pretty tense between Russell Westbrook and KD the year leading up to this. However, let's say that after the Thunder beat Golden State, they go on to beat LeBron James and the Cavaliers in the finals. Doing this clears up any tension between the two OKC superstars. KD never decides to leave OKC, setting up a new Western Conference dynasty instead of Golden State. LeBron wouldn't have won that ring in 2016 for Cleveland. I mean, sure, the Warriors wouldn't have KD now, but in this scenario, the new developed OKC team is better than the Warriors. LeBron can't win against this team with his current Cleveland lineup. LeBron is driven to win a championship for Cleveland, and he never goes to the Lakers and subsequently never wins the championship for LA during the 2020 bubble season. How does LeBron stand in the GOAT conversation today in this scenario? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Furthermore, Kyrie stays in Cleveland to keep playing with LeBron. The current Nets team would never have become what we know today. Lastly, it's hard to say exactly what would have happened with the likes of Paul George, Chris Paul, John Wall, etc., all of whom were involved down the road with KD and Russ's departure from OKC. I like to think that in the current NBA, the top 3 teams in the West and East would look pretty similar with a few exceptions. For the Western Conference top 3, we have the unchanged Utah Jazz and Golden State Warriors, whilst a significantly different OKC team. OKC's starter squad could look something like this: Russell Westbrook at the point, Victor Oladipo at shooting guard, KD at small forward, Domantas Sabonis as power forward, and Steven Adams holding down the center. Knowing what we know now, this squad would be more than capable to lead the NBA today. Over in the Eastern Conference, the top 3 would look something like this. We have the Bucks and Bulls with no major changes to current rosters, but the big difference here is with LeBron and the Cavaliers. Point guard played by Kyrie Irving, shooting guard would be Joe Harris, LeBron at the small forward, Kevin Love at power forward, and the center spot we see Andrew Bogut. I like to imagine in this scenario, as long as there's no attention in OKC, that this team is set up to compete heavily with Golden State or even any Western Conference team for that matter. But let's get on to scenario 2. Scenario 2. During the 2015-2016 finals against the Cavs, the Thunder can't get it going and Cleveland wins the final series. LeBron and Kyrie take the same path as they do in real life. KD is frustrated but decides not to leave OKC and signs a 1-year deal. After an unsuccessful 2016-2017 playoff run, KD threatens to leave OKC, but the Thunder GM Sam Presti decides to deal Westbrook to keep KD on the roster. The Thunder send Houston Russell Westbrook in exchange for Chris Paul, exactly what happened in real life. Now, instead of how scenario 1 went, OKC goes through with sending Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis to Indiana for Paul George. This trade sets up OKC to take back the reins of best in the West. The East and West would look a bit like this. In the Western Conference, the top 3 teams would look like Lakers, Warriors, and Thunder. While the Lakers and Warriors would pretty much be unchanged from real life, remember, LeBron leaves Cleveland and goes to the Lakers, the Thunder starting 5 would look something like this: Chris Paul at the point, Hamidou Diallo for shooting guard, remember the 2019 Slam Dunk Contest champion, Paul George at the small forward, KD moving down to the power forward, and Steven Adams at the center. To me, this starting 5 is better than scenario 1's starting 5. Understanding that, yeah, there is a lot more to a team including roster depth and team chemistry, this team would roll the Western Conference. Over in the East, we would have Bucks, Bulls, and Nets. In this scenario, the rosters are all the same with the exception of no KD for Brooklyn. Assuming that there's no vaccination drama and Kyrie plays the whole year, the Nets are still a top team in the NBA. With both scenarios out on the table, it's safe to say that KD would never become the villain that he is today. If he wins his rings with either of those squads in OKC, it would be hard to discard him from being in the top 5 all-time talks. It would be interesting to see how the fan bases between LeBron and KD would debate about each other. After all, this was all just theoretical what-ifs. But that's gonna do it for this video though. Thank you to everyone who stayed until the end of the video. Let me know down in the comments what you think the league would look like today if OKC won in 2016. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Also, if you're interested in joining our Discord, the link will be down in the description below. As we are entering holiday mode, I hope everyone gets to enjoy some family time. Safe travels to you all and happy holidays. We will see you in the next one.